Hello, 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 and welcome back to Infinite Roleplay. My name is Nelson, and we're going to be doing a little vlogging on Saturday morning. Dungeons and Dragons. Saturday morning D&D, my Saturday morning RPG that I've been workingly, obsessively working. See, I've been writing so much that I no longer have a grasp on the English language. Quick little update of what I've been doing with it since the alpha. I've discussed how I implemented Awesome Power a little bit more into the current classes by having it be a multiplier to sneak attack damage as well as a multiplier to healing done for the priest. Making sneak attacks hit even harder than they already do, and making priests even healier than they already are. But I've done quite a bit of changes since that point as well. I've expanded my gear section to include a whole lot more items, as well as item descriptions. I've gotten a mundane gear section, and mundane gear is pretty much anything that is not magical, a weapon, or armor. Normally, mundane gear does not have an AP requirement, it does not add to your encumbrance. Mundane gear has a narrative weight, meaning as long as it's funny or makes sense, which is entirely dependent on your GM, you are not encumbered. With that said, one of the biggest changes I've made to mundane gear is the gear bundle. Now, when I start running games with Saturday Morning RPG, I'm going to be using gear bundles. Now, the inspiration for gear bundles, of course, comes from one of my newest favorite games, Dungeon World, and it basically allows you to pull any item from that gear bundle, any mundane item, I should say. Each gear bundle has a quality. You have not so good, good, better, and best. Now, depending on the quality of the gear bundle, you have a number of uses. The worst being a single use, the best, I believe, being 10 uses. Each gear bundle, though they are mundane items, I should say, have an AP requirement. The AP requirement is not a requirement to actually use the gear bundle. It's just so that you can apply that AP requirement to your encumbrance. It's to limit the amount of gear bundles that you can carry, because they are crazy useful. The ability to pull out, 20-foot rope, a torch, a lantern, a tent, sleeping bag, whatever you need, you can pull out of a gear bundle. The next largest change that I've made to mundane items is the healing potion. Now, normally in basic Dungeons & Dragons, a healing potion heals for 2d4 plus 2 hit points. My change is that a healing potion now heals for your character's recovery amount multiplied by your heroic tier. Now, what this means is that, say, a famous hero, which is a 3rd tier character, who has the warrior class, a warrior's recoveries healing for 10 hit points for every recovery. When that particular hero drinks a healing potion, they heal for their recovery 10 multiplied by the heroic tier 3, giving them a total of 30 hit points healed. This makes healing potions more potent than they already were, as well as scaling. You never need to buy different types of healing potions. You can buy one, and depending on how badass of a hero you are, you heal for more hit points. Now, with that said, I'll move right along to another one of the biggest changes that I'm working on right now, and that is bonds. Again, inspired by our little friend, Dungeon World. Dungeon World has bonds. I want bonds, except my bonds are entirely different. They actually are. A bond in Saturday Morning RPG gives you something extra. Now, you can take a bond instead of taking an ability bonus or feat whenever that is available to your character. You can take a bond instead. Right? right? Right. Good. What a bond does is entirely dependent on the bond. You can only take one bond unless otherwise stated. Basically means you can only take one bond and one bond. Well, no. All right. You can take a bond. Each bond may only be purchased once unless otherwise stated in the bond. But for right now, each bond can only be taken once from the ones that I've written. What the bonds are designed to do is to give another layer of customization, another boost to the hero's power, and reinforce teamwork. With that said, funnily enough, the first bond is entitled All I Need Is Me, which you cannot take any other bonds. If you take All I Need Is Me, that's the only one you have because you're a little selfish, egotistical little bugger, and you don't have bonds with anyone else. You done burned all those bridges. And as for example, the way the bond works is that as long as you are alone, you have no other heroes within 5 feet of any evildoers that you are adjacent to or engage with in melee combat. You can expend a golden coin of inspiration to get advantage on each and every attack roll you roll that turn. Now, I think it sounds a bit OP, but again, the stipulation, the scenarios, you've got to be surrounded. You have to be surrounded by more than 2, meaning 3 or more evildoers alone. No one else can be fighting those evildoers. They can't be adjacent or within 5 feet of those evildoers. You're basically showing off. Anyway, that's All I Need Is Me. A better look into bonds is probably the bond drinking buddy. And for the bond drinking buddy to work, you need to be adjacent to your bond and drink a healing potion. When you are adjacent to your bond, otherwise known as your drinking buddy, when you heal from drinking a healing potion, you heal your amount, and they heal for an amount equal to your amount. Meaning the example we used earlier about the famous heroic warrior healing for 30 when he drinks a healing potion. If he is, say, next to his buddy the heal monkey, who has been haggard, beat up, and is damn near out of spells, the warrior would heal for 30, and the heal monkey, who is the target of the bond, heals for 30 as well. Which is pretty crazy, but yeah. Before I go, I think I should elaborate on bonds some more. But I won't, because I'm still writing them. They're still a work in progress. But hopefully within the next week or so, I'll be done with the bond section. And after I'm done with the bond section, that's pretty much finished. That will engage wave 2 of alpha testing. Until then, of course, my name is Nelson. This has been Infinite Roleplay, and always remember that pizza is just as good cold as it is hot. Peace.